Hi friends, in this video lecture related to chapter electric potential and capacitance, first we will determine expression for electric potential due to a solid non-conducting sphere having charge Q uniformly distributed throughout its volume at an internal point, at a point on the surface of a sphere, and at an external point. Then we will use these expressions to solve a numerical. So first, say it is a solid sphere of non-conducting material having radius r, and we have to find out electric potential at a point P distant small r from the center of this sphere. Since the charge Q is uniformly distributed throughout the volume of this sphere, point P at which electric potential is to be found will lie on the surface of a sphere of radius small r, and it will be lying within the annular region of internal radius r and external radius capital R. So electric potential at point P will be electric potential due to this central spherical region of radius small r plus electric potential due to this annular region of internal radius r and external radius capital R. If electric potential at P due to central spherical region is V1, then V1 will be 1 over 4 pi epsilon charge possessed by this central region, say is Q dash, divided by distance of point P from the center, and that distance is R. This is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon, and Q dash means the charge possessed by this central region means volume charge density rho multiplied by volume of this central region, and that volume will be 4 by 3 pi small r cube. Now if we will put the value of rho as Q upon 4 by 3 pi capital R cube, then we will get it will be 1 over 4 pi epsilon Q 4 by 3 pi will get cancelled with this 4 by 3 pi, and that will give R square in the numerator and divided by R cube in denominator. So it will be the electric potential due to central region of the sphere at point P. Now to find out electric potential due to this annular region, say there is a spherical shell of radius x and width dx. Here is a spherical shell of radius x and width of this shell is dx. So first we will find out electric potential due to this shell, and in case of shell we know whatever is the potential at the surface of the shell, same will be the potential at any point lying within it. So first we will calculate the charge possessed by this shell. Charge on this shell, say is Q1, then this charge will be charge per unit volume, that is Q upon 4 by 3 pi R cube multiplied by volume of the shell, and volume of the shell will be internal surface area of the shell, that will become 4 pi x square multiplied by thickness of the shell, because internal surface multiplied by thickness, that will give us the volume of the shell. So multiplied by dx, and this will give us q1 is equal to 3q upon r cube into x square dx. Now we will find out electric potential at an internal point due to this shell. Electric potential due to shell at an internal point is equal to electric potential due to shell at any point on its surface, and say that potential is dV2, then this dV2 will be 1 over 4 pi epsilon charge on the shell, that is q1, upon radius of shell, and the radius of shell is x, and this will give us 1 over 4 pi epsilon, and q1 will be this one, x will get cancelled with x, so we will get 3q upon r cube into x dx. It is the potential at an internal point due to the shell of thickness dx, but we require electric potential at P due to the annular region of internal radius small r and external radius capital R. So electric potential at P due to annular region of internal radius small r and external radius capital R, V2 will be integral dV2, and this will be equal to, out of this one, 3q upon 4 pi epsilon r cube will be outside the integration, and we will be left with integral x dx, and limits will start from x is equal to small r to x is equal to capital R. So small r to capital R. This will give 3q upon 4 pi epsilon r cube, and integration of x with respect to x will be x square by 2. Limits will be from small r to capital R. So it will give 3 by 2 into q upon 4 pi epsilon r cube, and upper limit yani r square minus small r square. It is the electric potential due to annular region at point P. Now we have electric potential due to central spherical region as well as electric potential due to annular region. So total electric potential at P due to non-conducting sphere, V will be V1 plus V2, and V1 plus V2 means 1 over 4 pi epsilon q small r square upon r cube plus 3 by 2 q upon 4 pi epsilon r cube into capital R square minus small r square. Now this will give V is equal to q upon 4 pi epsilon r cube will be common, and then here we will be left with r square. So r square plus there we will be left with 3 by 2 capital R square minus 3 by 2 small r square, and this will give q upon 4 pi epsilon r cube into r square positive minus 3 by 2 r square means 3 by 2 capital R square minus 1 by 2 small r square, and this implies V is equal to Q upon 4 pi epsilon r cube, and within bracket it will be 3r square minus r square divided by 2. So the electric potential at an internal point due to a non-conducting sphere Vi can be written as Q upon 4 pi epsilon r cube into 3r square minus r square upon 2. If we come to the surface of this sphere, then for surface of sphere small r will be equal to capital R. So 3r square minus r square, 2r square divided by 2, that is r square, and r square will cancel 2 powers of r cube. So we will get 1 over 4 pi epsilon Q upon r. Thus for surface of sphere, total charge possessed by sphere can be supposed to be concentrated at its center, and it will behave like a point charge. Now if we come to the center of sphere, then for center of sphere small r will become 0 because point P will coincide with the center of sphere, and if small r will become 0, then putting small r is equal to 0 here, we will get Vc is equal to 3 by 2 1 over 4 pi epsilon Q upon r, that is electric potential at center of sphere will be 3 by 2 times the potential at the surface of sphere, because 1 over 4 pi epsilon Q by r is Vs, so 3 by 2 Vs. It means electric potential at the center of non-conducting sphere will be 3 by 2 times the electric potential at its surface. If we come to an external point, then like for a point on the surface of sphere, we can again assume that the total charge of sphere is concentrated at the center, and it behaves like a point charge. That is, for external point, say electric potential outside the sphere I am representing with Vo, then Vo will be 1 over 4 pi epsilon Q upon r. R is the distance of point P, where r will be greater than capital R, means point P will lie outside the sphere. Now we are taking a few numericals related to electric potential to strengthen our ability to solve numericals. Say first we are given electric potential at a surface of non-conducting sphere is 6 volt. Find work done in taking a charge of 10 microcoulomb from surface of sphere to its center. In the previous derivation for electric potential due to a non-conducting sphere, we had seen that electric potential at center of non-conducting sphere is 3 by 2 times the electric potential at its surface. And here in this question, electric potential at the surface of non-conducting sphere is given as 6 volt. So we can use it to find electric potential at the center of sphere, and that will be 3 by 2 into 6, that is 9 volt. So now we can find out potential difference across center and surface. This potential difference V will be equal to Vc minus Vs, since Vc is greater than Vs. So it will be 9 minus 6, that is 3 volt. So work done in bringing 10 microcoulomb from surface to center, W will be charge into potential difference, because potential difference is work per unit charge. So work will be charge into potential difference, and charge is 10 microcoulomb. Potential difference is 3 volt. So work done will be 30 microjoule. So this much work will be done in taking a charge of 10 microcoulomb from surface to the center of a non-conducting sphere having electric potential 6 volt at its surface. Now we come to the next question. In this second question, a charge plus Q is placed at a distance r from the center of a conducting sphere, and first we have to find electric field due to induced charges, and second we have to find electric potential inside the sphere as well as on the surface of the sphere, and then we have to tell magnitude of induced charge when the sphere is earth. So first, electric field due to induced charges. First, the charges induced on sphere will be non-uniform. The half of the sphere closer to plus Q will attain negative charge, while the other half, which is the farther one, will attain same kind of charge. Now, since we have to find electric field, and we know electric field inside a charged conductor is always zero, so electric field due to charge plus Q will be equal and opposite to the electric field due to induced charges. So electric field due to induced charges will be equal and opposite, means due to this charge electric field here will be 1 over 4 pi epsilon Q upon R square, and this field will be directed away from the charge. It is the electric field due to charge Q, and if net field within the sphere is to remain zero, then electric field due to these induced charges must be equal and opposite to the electric field due to charge Q, but it will be directed towards plus Q. Now, electric potential inside the sphere, if we have to find electric potential inside the sphere, then we know that due to electric field within it being zero, electric potential at each point within it as well as on its surface will be same. So electric potential inside the sphere equal to electric potential at its surface, and that will be equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon Q upon R, electric potential produced by Q at center. When this sphere will be earth, then the positive charge, which is the free charge, will be neutralized by the earth, and the sphere will have only negative induced charge in its first half. And since the sphere is connected to the earth, electric potential of the surface as well as electric potential at each point within it will be zero. So V inside as well as V on the surface will be zero because the sphere is earth. And if electric potential within it is zero, then at center electric potential due to plus Q must be equal and opposite to the electric potential due to induced charge. So electric potential due to Q must be equal to electric potential due to induced charge, and this implies electric potential due to Q at center 1 over 4 pi epsilon Q by R is equal to electric potential due to induced charge 1 over 4 pi epsilon charge induced divided by radius of sphere. If we are taking the radius of sphere as R, then it will give upon R, and this electric potential due to induced charge will be negative. So we can say that induced charge Qn is equal to minus inducing charge divided by distance of inducing charge from the center multiplied by radius of sphere. In this way we can find out the charge induced in the first half of the sphere when sphere will be up. Now in next question we will determine the magnitude of electric field produced due to equipotential surfaces. Here V1, V2, V3 are the potentials of equipotential surfaces, and the equipotential surfaces are making an angle theta with positive direction of x-axis. Since electric field is directed along the direction shown in figure, so we can say that potential V3 is less than V2 is less than V1, because in the direction of electric field electric potential decreases. So V3 less than V2 less than V1. We want to find out electric field due to these equipotential surfaces. Electric field due to equipotential surfaces is always perpendicular to equipotential surfaces. So the direction of electric field will be perpendicular to equipotential surfaces. Now what about the magnitude of electric field? The magnitude of electric field E will be potential difference divided by distance perpendicular to equipotential surfaces. That is potential difference divided by distance in the direction of electric field, and this means V2 minus V1 or V3 minus V2 divided by this distance, and this distance given is R. If we have the points at which two consecutive equipotential surfaces cut the x-axis, say this point is x1, this point is x2, then using x2 minus x1, because this distance will become x2 minus x1, using x2 minus x1 and this angle being theta, this angle will also be theta, we can determine R. R for angle theta will be perpendicular, and perpendicular is equal to hypotenuse into sin theta. So it can also be written as V2 minus V1 upon x2 minus x1 sin theta. So in this way we can find out the magnitude of electric field. What about the direction? Direction of electric field will be at an angle of 90 degree plus theta from positive x-axis. In this way, using equipotential surfaces, we can find out electric field associated to them.